The 30th of December, Rabbi Levitt, Gemara.
Okay.
All right, so we are up to, oh yeah, okay, so yeah. The Gemara basically has asked a question on Rav Asi from the words of the Gemara interpreting the Mishnah. According to Rav Asi's answer, there should not be any danger in a ordinary loan document being misused, because we don't allow the writing of the loan document, the ordinary loan document, if the malva is not there to make the loan at the time that the document is being written up. Only in the case of a shtar hakna, a note of acquisition, or Lou said a lien note, do we that provides for the collection of property on lien to be made from the time of that's written in explicitly in the note itself, because it's not really dependent upon a loan being made at all, but a document that the whole document is about a loan that's being made. It's not a shtar hakna. It's not a lien note. So then, in such a case, the Mishnah in Bava Basra said that we do not write such a note unless the malva is there. That's what the Mishnah in Bava Basra is talking about. So what's it talking about? Shtar lalova. Okay, we spoke about that yesterday, and we said that Mishnah is talking about shtar hakna. It's not talking about an ordinary loan document, because an ordinary loan document we do not write if the malva is not there. So if so then the Gemara should not have explained the way that it did. So Rav Asi is going to have to give an answer to the Gemara's question over here. And it looks like Abaya is going to step up to the plate and answer for Rav Asi. One second. Did the Gemara itself answer for Rav Asi? Amar lach Rav Asi. Maybe we didn't read that. I don't remember. Let's read it. Let's read it again. Amar lach Rav Asi. Rav Asi here himself, he's responding to this question on himself. You want to know where this could be found? This could be found on Yud Gimel, Amid Aleph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the end of the 8th line from the top of the page, where it just says Aleph Lamed, Amar Le, Rav Asi, Amar Lecha, really. Amar Lecha. Rav Asi would say to you.
13A1, right-hand column, second paragraph. The Gemara answers.
It doesn't look like Rav Asi is answering himself. It looks like the Gemara is answering what Rav Asi would say.
Yeah, you're right. Amar lach means Rav Asi would be able to say to you the following thing. He didn't himself give this answer because he wasn't himself asked the question. Fine. Let's see what he says, though. I don't think we saw this yesterday. So Roy, you want to read?
Okay. Omar lach Rav Asi. Rav Asi could answer you. Af al gav dishtare delay rail hakna Even though in the case of notes that are not of the acquisition type, that is, ordinary loan documents, ki lechko milvar ba'adei lo kasbeinan. When the lender is not present with the borrower, we may not draw them up. Masanisin kavan denapel asaray lay. Nevertheless, in the case of our Mishnah, since the note was lost, it is flawed. The fact that it was lost causes suspicion to be cast upon its genuine.
Oh. Okay, so there you have it.
Shinan dalima ikari dekartuv, and we are therefore apprehensive that perhaps it so happened that they did draw up the note prior to the loan, although it was wrong for them to do so.
Yeah. Okay, very clear. So we're concerned, in other words, in the Mishnah for something that's not allowed to be done. That's the bottom line. It's not allowed in the case of an ordinary loan document, which is doing nothing other than recording a loan taking place. It's not allowed to write such a loan document without the malva being there. Why? Because the malva is the one that's supposed to loan the money. So if he's not there, there's obviously not going to be a loan that's taking place. And if so then why are you writing up a loan document, which the whole loan document is simply recording to the fact that a loan took place? So we don't allow that. We don't allow that. Why don't we allow that? Because of the problem that if such a thing would be drawn up, the lender could improperly use it against a purchaser of property who purchased that property from the borrower before the actual loan money was given to the borrower, but after the time that's that listed in the document as being the time that the loan was made. But the loan was not made at that time. It was just written up like that, but it wasn't really the money wasn't loaned because the guy wasn't even there. Okay, so we resolved everything. Okay, so that's the answer according to Ravasi. Do we have any Rashi? No, we have no Rashi. Now the Gemara is going to go on to another statement. We'll see what Abaya Amar, we'll see what Abaya has to say over here. Looks like Abaya is going to be giving a second alternative answer. Okay, so Lou, you want to read the Abaya?
Bobby says, a dove, bacha shumav, zachin lo. the note's witnesses, by their signatures, acquire a lien for its recipient. At the moment they sign the note. Thus, even if the actual loan transaction is made only at a later date, the lien has already taken effect earlier at the time of the note signing. Vafilu shtarei delav hakina'ah, even in the case of notes of the acquisition type,
Not
which are not of the acquisition type.
even in the case of notes not of the acquisition type, i.e., even regarding ordinary loan documents. And why does Abaye advance this novel concept that the witnesses, by their very signing of the note, acquire the lien on behalf of the creditor? Mishum de kasha lay. He advanced this concept because of the following difficulty concerning him regarding Rav Ashi's explanation. Kevan de Amras Bishtarei Delav Hakina. Since you who follow Rav Ashi's view maintain regarding notes not of the acquisition type, i.e., ordinary loan documents, ki leisei le malve bachadai lo chas vinan, that when the lender is not present with the borrower, we do not draw up the loan document. Leka the mechash de ikri v'chasuv. There is no need to be apprehensive that perhaps it so happened that they did act improperly and drew up a note prior to the date of the loan.
Okay, so Abai is trying to answer the same question that the Gemara asked on Rav Asi in a different way. And he doesn't like the answer that the Gemara originally gave. He doesn't like the answer that even though it's illegal to write up the document if the mal was not there, sometimes it happens. We're concerned for that possibility at any rate. We're concerned for that possibility. So Abai is saying, no, that's not the issue over here. If you're not allowed to do it, so we don't we're not. That's not the reason. We're not concerned for that reason. Since we made it illegal, we're not concerned that people are going to break the law and do otherwise. So then how do you answer? How do you answer Rav Asi's the question on Rav Asi? You say that that somehow, even in the case of a ordinary loan document, somehow the witnesses that are signing on this document with their signature, somehow that makes it that it's able to be collected from that day, even though the loan has not been made. So somehow somehow the document itself provides for collection according to the date that it says on the loan document. And I see over here we got a very long Rashi. Rashi is commenting on this answer that Abai gave. Okay, let's see what Rashi has to say. So we're going to read Rashi Dibro Maskil Abaya Omar. This is the last word on the fourth wide line of Rashi on 13a.
Abaya Amar, Abaya says, Ha, this, the Heichin Kotvim, how that the Tanan, that it was taught, Kotvim Star, the love, you write a document, Star, for the Barwa, below Malva, without the borrowers being present. A few, even
Without the lender being present.
Without the lender being present. Okay. A filu bishtar the love hakana, even if it's not a star that's not of acquisition. Nami also. The e nami, and if so, ati mitaref. You need to join in. Me'ida nowadays, who low lova, there's no loan, Tishrei, until Tishrei. Low.
No Shalom Kedin.
No, it's not Shalom Kedin. It's not like according to the law here.
It's not against the law. It's not called that it's against the law. Why not?
The Ada, the witnesses, Bituma Tav the signature, Zachlimo, they merited for him. Mayom, from the day Shechat Muhu, when they sign it, the signing date. Doesn't matter when the effective date, the signing date makes it good. Zachim, well, it merits for him. Hashibu, the mortgaging of it, the afilu, and even the low halova, even if the lender
doesn't borrow the money.
Borrower doesn't the borrower doesn't get the money Tishrei until Tishrei. He's not getting it later. They signed earlier, but he's not getting the money till Tishrei. Here, Moki, it's established like Abaya, Bahai, in this type of this reason, Mishum Dekasha, even though it's difficulty for him, Kaven, since the merit, as it says, and so on. Ba'aval, but Kashta, now the Tanan that it's written Kotvim, write it, Chaishinin. We are concerned. We're worried about this. Dilma, perhaps Katab Lova. It was written to the lender below Lova, and it's not the lender Ulakaima, and it's established later. Parich, we ask, Amai, why? Lo Yachzir, why shouldn't you return it to him? Hare Zachu, he's merited it. With the aid of, with the witnesses, the Chotmov that have signed it already. The Shapir Taref, and it needs to be torn up, so to speak.
Okay. Okay, so just to review this Rashi over here. Rashi saying this, that it says in the Mishnah that the Gemara quoted that we do write a shtar lelova, even though the malva is not there. Even with a shtar, which is not a shtar hakno. That's the way Abaya is explaining now. And inami, and if you'll say, well, if so then you got the problem. Asi lemitrav miha'idna. Who lo lova ad tishrei. What about the problem that the guy is gonna, the Malva is going to collect based upon the date that's written in the document, and the actual loan didn't take place until Tishrei. That was the original chashash. So Rashi says, according to Abaye, lo shelo kedinhu. This is not going to be against the law. Why not? Because the Malva is going to be able to have that ability to collect. Why? The loan was not made at the time that the document was written up. But Abaye says, because Eidov b'chasoimav zochen lo, because somehow, some way, Abaye holds that by the witnesses signing on this document, their signature gives merit to the Malva to collect based upon the date of this shtar, even though it's not a shtar haknoah. B'yom shechasmuhu zachem lo hashibud afilu lo lova hamos ad Tishrei, even if he's not going to loan the money until Tishrei. So if you ask Abaye, how could you say such a thing like that? Abaye will answer you. You know why he's answering you like this? Because there's a big kasha over here. Yeah, what's the kasha? The kasha that we originally asked. How could this be? How could we do such a thing like this? So, and the Bach weighs in over here, something in base. A long note over here. I don't know what he wants. I'm not going to go into that right now. Aval hashta, but now that we learned in the Mishnah that says kosvin, that we do write such a document, not only for a shtar hakna, but even for a shtar halva, because of this svora that Abaye says, the witnesses with their signature, they create a slus on behalf in favor of the malva to collect. So now that we say like that, Haishiden, we have a concern. Like the Gemara said, Dilma kasav lelavos velo lova. Maybe he wrote it. Maybe the document was written to make the loan, and the loan never actually took place. Oh. And that's the actual chashash that we're talking about over here. Well, hashta the tanan kosvin, hashin and dilma kosav lelavos below lova altogether, that he didn't make the loan at all. But the Gemara says that that's not the problem. The problem is that he'll make the loan 6 months after the document was written up, but the loan was made at the end of the day. Well, kame porich, amai lo yaksir, hare Zachule Eidov b'chosamav v'shaper torif. The Gemara is going to ask, why should we not give the document back to the Malva then? Because he's zocha to collect based upon this document, and he'd be allowed to he was allowed to be torif. He would be allowed to claim the property, which is on lien from the purchaser that bought it from the lova. Okay, we're going to have to think about this for 9 more minutes. We're not out of time.
Rabbi, it seems to me that the last few sentences you read, I didn't really get, but it seems to me that the question was already answered prior to those sentences, because it said that the witnesses caused the malva to be zocha to collect. So if that's the case, then what difference does it make whether there's a loan or not? They signed that he can collect. Period. What's the question?
Well, again, first of all, what we're trying to do is we're trying to save the fact that the Gemara is explaining why we don't give it back to the lender. Why do we not give this loan document back to the lender? And the Gemara says because we have a chashash. We have a chashash that the loan document was written up in Nisan and the loan wasn't made until Tishrei, and therefore the lender is we're concerned that he may come to collect a shelo kedin in a way which would not, the halakha doesn't allow him to do that. So according to the way that Abaya is saying, if we say that even in the case of an ordinary loan document, the signature of the witnesses gives the ability to the malva to collect according to the date of the document. So if that's what he has the ability to do, so then what's the Gemara mean that we have a chashash and therefore we can't give it back to the malva? Why shouldn't we give it back to the malva?
Well, aren't we rejecting that question of the Gemara?
Again, the way that let's start with Rav Asi for a second. Rav Asi, what did Rav Asi say? Rav Asi said, true. The truth of the matter is that, like we said in the Mishnah over there, the Mishnah says that we don't write such a document if the malva is not there. So Rav Asi said, yes, that's true. We don't do that in the case of a regular loan document. In the case of a regular loan document, we don't do that. The only time that we write up such a document is if it's a note for a lien, and in that case, it doesn't depend upon there being a lender. It doesn't depend on there being a loan altogether. It's just a lien note. So you could write the lien note with the date. And the person who's holding that note, he will be able to collect from that date. But if you're talking about an ordinary loan document, so Rav Asi said, there's no such a thing as writing such a thing like that if the malva is not there to make the loan at the time that the loan is being made. So if according to that, the Gemara asked Rav Asi, how do you understand the Gemara's question? That the Gemara said we are concerned, and that's why we don't give the loan document back to the malva. So on that, Rav Asi said, right, the Gemara is concerned. The Mishnah says we don't give it back because sometimes people don't do what the halakha says that they got to do. Sometimes they'll come out that there will be an ordinary loan document that is written up, even though the malva is not there, and even though the loan was not made. And that's what the Gemara is concerned about. So according to that first answer, the Gemara is very good, and the Gemara is justifying the chashash that we had, which explains why in the Mishnah we didn't give back the loan document to the malva if it fell in the street. But according to Abaye, we need to understand Abaye's answer better. I'm not saying that I'm asking a question on Abaye. I'm saying that I just don't understand fully where Abaye is saying his din about the signature of the of the witnesses. He's saying something to the effect that the signature of the witnesses gives a schus to the malva, to the lender, to collect from the date that it's written on the note. So if so he's allowed to collect like that. That's what Rashi said. He's not doing against the law, because that's what somehow that's the power that the signature gives. Signature gives that power. And if the lova, and if you'll ask, well, how can they sign like that if a loan wasn't being made? So you'll say that the lova wants it written up, and that's the way it's going to work. He's the one that's taking responsibility for the loan to get the loan, which this is securing that the lender will give will be able to have recourse against the guy's property if he doesn't pay him up. But at the end of the day, Ravasi is not arguing. Abaya is not arguing what the Gemara said before. He's not challenging what the Gemara said. That's he's accepting that the Gemara was the explanation of the Mishnah was a valid explanation. So it's our my lack of understanding of Abaya, which we're not based upon what we know that Abaya said. So how is it that it's working out based upon what the Gemara said that we're understanding in the Mishnah? And I think it has to do with those last 4 or 5 lines of Rashi.
And on that note,
so we'll have to leave it for tomorrow to see what how do we understand the Abaye. Okay.
Take care.
All the best.
thank you, Rabbi.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
Okay. Happy Hanukkah.